Welcome to SuaveHouse. I'm KaySuave.
I'm LadySuave.
And today we're going to be talking about how to avoid a toxic relationship when your partner has depression and anxiety.
Welcome to a place dedicated to the modern day artist, couple, and entrepreneur.
Welcome to a place where you can grow, connect, and challenge the new world around you.
Welcome to a new perspective.
Welcome
to SuaveHouse.
In our relationship, I am the one that is dealing with depression and anxiety. We're just going to be talking about some things that we do.
We just came up with 3 questions that are pretty much spot on for things you need to watch out for, or things that you can apply to your own relationship immediately. The first one is, how do I know if my partner is struggling with depression or anxiety? And what if I'm the one, or if you're the person struggling with depression or anxiety and you haven't told them yet? The first thing is,
you need to tell them.
There's no way around that. Do you recall what it was like the first time you told me?
I don't remember how we got on the topic. I just remember feeling like I just needed to let you know, because in my past relationship, I allowed so many things that I don't think I should have. And I knew it was because I wasn't really wanting to deal with my depression and anxiety. Just going into this relationship, I knew that if I wanted it to be different, then that's something that I need to try and be open about.
Eventually you came to an awareness that the way you were allowing people to treat you, or just the things that you let slide, or what was that?
It was the things that, I let slide, and the things that I didn't really open up about or look that deep into until I tried going back to therapy again, like right before we got back together, and started talking about some of those things. And so it just brought a lot up.
You just knew that, like, all right, if I'm serious about this dude, I need to tell him, like.
Yeah, you made me want to be a better person. And sometimes when you do have depression and anxiety, you feel like you can't obtain a certain goal, or you can't be this type of person. It just doesn't feel like you can get there. You made me feel like I could, so.
Oh, wow. I'm glad I could be a part of that.
Glad you are.
To answer the first part of that question, how do you know if your partner has depression or anxiety? There's really no way to guess, and it's not good for you to guess. If you really want to know, start an open dialogue about it and just ask them, like, is there something that you've been diagnosed with that I need to know about?
How do they feel about going to therapy and things like that? Like, that's not something that we had to do, but I feel like if we did, then that would be a way that I would slowly bring him into that conversation and kind of see where his head's at with all of that. Mental health is still a very big topic. Not everybody really believes in it.
To end that off, there are several types of depression and anxiety, and there's really no good way to diagnose that yourself, so definitely seek out help. The next thing, how to avoid the toxic habits. If you're already aware that you've been diagnosed with some sort of anxiety or depression, or you know that your partner has anxiety or depression, what are a few things that you can do to avoid making the relationship toxic? If it's already toxic, what are some things you can watch out for to make the relationship healthy? Simply, if you've already been diagnosed and you aren't currently in therapy or anything to learn how to think, just seek professional help.
You can't rely on your partner for everything. He is a great partner. He's a great listener. I still don't want to feel like I'm burdening him with all of my emotions, and he has to be consumed with all of my emotions. He's not a professional. He's not a therapist. Dealing with a professional, it's very, very different, and you definitely do gain more insight and more tools to use for yourself and in your relationship. I've learned how to talk in therapy and how to express in therapy, and so those were some things that I've definitely brought into our relationship.
She's a different woman now. Over time, you start to see the progression. And we were actually just talking about this the other day. Like, I don't know if depression and anxiety is something it's not like something you can fully recover from. It's essentially a mental illness, a condition that you have to live with. So learning how to get better with it instead of neglecting it, which we'll get to in a second, is definitely a better way to go about it. If you are the person who is not dealing with depression or anxiety, please, please, please do not treat your partner like they are handicapped. The worst thing you can do is make someone feel less than as they're experiencing a depression or anxiety episode.
For those that are dealing with anxiety and depression, that is not your opportunity to use your partner as a punching bag. And you have to be very clear in what you are feeling and what your thought process is.
So I actually wanted to ask you, what is something that a partner could do not knowing that it's negatively affecting their partner during the middle of an episode?
When you try to push too hard, there's that push of like, no, you can, you got to like get up, like go do something. And sometimes it's like those moments are needed though. An absolute no-no is like just saying like, you know, snap out of it. Like,
or get over it.
Or get over it. Everything happens for a reason. And even if I don't know why I'm in that mode, like I have to work through the kinks. And like you said, I have to get better living with it. And if you just try to make me feel like it doesn't exist at all, or if it's like it's something that I need to absolutely heal from, then I think that's when it can start to feel like a hindrance.
So the next thing, which this is something a little more personal to me, developing mental health symptoms of your own as you are supporting your partner. That's something that, as I was learning how to deal with that, and she was expressing the sources of her depression and anxiety, it started to make me self-reflect a lot. With self-reflection, and you really spend time there and you start comparing your life and some things that may be parallel to the things that your partner experienced, it can do one of two things, which is, I really think both of them happen to me. One of them is make you feel as though things your partner is experiencing are also happening to you, just maybe on a minor scale. So it's easy to have not just empathy, but sympathy, and like actually go there and think and really see yourself in your partner's position and want to take on all of those emotions. And if you're not careful with that, it can feel really heavy psychologically and start to drain you and start to make you have these same symptoms. I do have traumas that I didn't deal with and never thought to deal with until she was more vocal about hers. As a solution to start, to be able to deal with the situation, is really just talk about it. And just kind of see where the conversation goes. Don't try to place blame and say this is your fault, because it can very easily turn into that. The other side of that, also seek out professional help. I still have to do that myself.
No, and I don't feel the need to force him to do that. I think if you're the person that's not dealing with any type of mental illness that you know of, then I do advise, like, I think everyone should go and have therapy and talk to someone and all those things. I really do believe that. But I think it has to happen in your own time, because sometimes connecting those dots can be very, very scary, and it can be very overwhelming. And that's not something that you want to push a partner to do when you're not ready to handle it and you're dealing with it yourself. And it would just be like the blind leading the blind, and nobody wants that. And so I think, you know, with time, that's a journey that can be explored together, but you both have to be ready and willing to do whatever it takes to handle the outcome after that.
Agreed. So in closing, definitely, for any one of these questions that you feel like you identify with, seek help. Like, that is the underlined message of this whole video, is because it's so easy to be in your own head and thinking that you having things figured out. I'm that type of person. I'm the problem solver who always thinks I can figure it out myself, but it doesn't go that way for everything, especially mental health, because you're always in your own head. Seek help, ask a professional. Regardless of what society says, therapy is becoming a lot more of a social norm and is very healthy to do. It's literally you taking the steps to grow.
Right.
So yeah, with that being said.
All right, if you heard anything that you know you could use, that you liked, that really resonated with you,
please share it with a friend who you feel may be in need of this message. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know some things that you've dealt with. Let's start an open dialogue so that we can really break the social norms that kind of suppress these issues. More people deal with depression and anxiety than you may realize. I watched a video saying that it's practically a family secret.
Right.
So let's break generational curses. Let's talk about the truth, and let's all get better. Let's all get healthier.
Yes.
Love you guys. See you in the next video.
Peace. Peace. All right, Kristen.
Head ass.
I beat you.
I beat you. I'm the winner.
Okay, Caesar, you're gonna have to stop with that.
Sit down, son.
Welcome to SuaveHouse. That wasn't as good as the first one. Let's do it one more time.
What?
It's all right.
Okay.
We gotta be in sync. In 2.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.